So let's analyze two high-level college singles points. But first, if you want me to analyze your game to help you improve your serve, your forehand, your backhand, even your match play, if you have video footage of your matches and you want me to analyze your court positioning, your shot selection, even your footwork, send me an email, ryan@2minutetennis.net, and I'll give you all the details. All right, the first thing, let's look at the server. You'll notice at the very beginning, his racket face is open at about a 45-degree angle. This indicates the proper grip. When you begin serving, make sure that your strings are not facing down toward the ground. That would indicate that you have a forehand grip. If your racket face is open, like Nadal, like Sinner, like this player, then you have the proper continental grip. The second thing I want you to notice with the server is how he goes into the court and then jumps backward. You need to practice this. Watch his feet. He goes into the court off of his serve, but then immediately jumps backward in case the return is hit really deep. He doesn't want to get caught with a ball at his feet. If you are not adding this to your serve practice, then make sure you do, right? You go out and hit a basket of serves, you jump into the court, and then you quickly jump backward to practice the footwork, able to handle really deep returns. So now let's switch gears and look at the returner. What you'll notice when you focus on the returner but peripherally see the server is watch how they both jump at the same time. See that? They're both jumping at the same time. Why is that? Well, the proper timing of a split step is to land the split step after the opponent makes contact with the ball. And specifically, you want to split step around 0.2 to 0.25 seconds after the opponent makes contact with the ball. That synchronizes your brain and your reaction time with when your feet hit the ground. You want to land as your brain reacts to where you need to go, and you're much quicker with your first step. So let's put the racket at contact right there. Let's put a timer down, and let's see when this player hits the ground, right? There's the contact. We should see, again, 0.2 to, so hold on. There we go. 0.2 to 0.25 seconds of when this player is landing. So let's check it out. Boom, look at that, 0.26. It's all the same. Absolute perfection. He's landing after the opponent makes contact with the ball, and that means a faster first move. So you got the return that's good and deep. This is really good. Good thing the server moved backward. Now it's easier for him to handle this shot. And because the returner hit a nice deep ball and is getting the server to move backward, the ball ends up a little shorter than the server wanted the ball to go. And that's when you see the returner attack. You should be attacking on short balls that land inside the service line. Now, the approach is down the middle, which isn't really the worst thing in the world because it does give this player very little angle. And I just wish the approach shot was a little deeper, and so does he. He wishes the ball had landed like back here. Chances of winning go way up when you hit a nice deep return. But all in all, at least it's past the service line. This is good. Now, the server is presented with a decision. Is he going to avoid the approacher, or is he going to involve the approacher? Well, what would avoiding him look like? He can hit a down the line pass. He can hit a cross court pass. He can try to lob. Those are like a lob and avoid making the ball land behind him. Those shots are not superior to the right choice, which is involving the opponent, which looks like this: hitting it low to him, getting him to volley below net level, or lobbing super high defensively, forcing this player to handle a rapidly descending ball and try to time a difficult overhead. Well, the server decides to hit the ball low and get the ball below net level to the approacher. When your opponent comes to the net, see if you can get the ball low to them. It's actually less risky than trying to thread the needle on a passing shot. And really the lob is not really a choice, meaning a lob up over their head, because look where this guy is. When your opponent hits an approach shot, they're still behind the service line by the time you're contacting the ball. So if you're trying to lob your opponent and get the ball to land behind them, you're going to keep hitting the ball out if you're trying to avoid your opponent, because that's the only way to actually get the ball to not be hit as an overhead. So he hits the ball nice and low, and that forces the volleyer to volley up, which means what? Half the time he's going to screw that up, especially if it's a rec player, I should say. Rec players screw that volley up half the time. But the other half, you usually get this weaker volley that then he gets to step inside the court and now go for the passing shot on the second shot. See, this is called the two-shot passing shot strategy. The first shot, you hit it low to the opponent, and the second shot, you then go for the pass. Now let's look at this. First off, look how far back behind the baseline he is here. That's why he's not going for the pass. It's too difficult, not enough angle. But here on the second shot, now he's inside the court. Now this is going to be much easier to go for the pass. Now, when you go for a passing shot in this situation, you've got two choices. You can go cross court or you can go down the line. The down the line passing shot as a blanket statement is the superior passing shot in singles. Down the line will win you more points than cross court. One big reason is when you hit a cross court pass, the ball must land in the service box, like by the side tee. And you need to do so with a lot, wrong tool. Give me 1 second. There we go. You must do so with a lot of spin. That is not easy to do. It's easy to think of, and I'm sure we can all remember when we've done it in the past, but it's a lower percentage shot than if we just rip a ball down the line. See, when you hit a down the line passing shot, you can make the ball land short, medium, or deep. And all three of those shots are the same distance from your opponent. But when you hit cross court and you hit short or medium or deep, those three passing shots are different distances from your opponent. And if you try to hit a deep passing shot, it'll easily be volleyed by the volleyer into the open court. So the only choice you have is to hit this extreme dipper, which again, I'm sure we've all hit in our lives, but you can't hang your hat on it. It's too low a percentage shot in order to do it time and time again. So the down the line passing shot is the superior shot. You'll notice how low he hits it just in case the volleyer does guess. And, at least he's got to maybe volley it up and this guy can get it and then pass it down the line on that side. But I love the down the line pass in this situation. So now let's look at the next point. We've got the same thing with the racket face. Look at his strings facing up, again, indicating the proper continental grip. Honestly, look at videos of yourself playing and check to see where your strings are pointing. Are your strings pointing down at the beginning of your serve? Then you have a forehand grip, not a continental grip. So let's look to see if the server jumps inside the court and then jumps backward. Yes, he does. Look at this. Jumps inside the court, then jumps backward. Let's look at the timing of the split step. Watch the returner jumping with the server. So if you have video footage of yourself playing, check that as well. Make sure that you're jumping with the server to make sure that you are timing your split step correctly. But this time, the returner hits a much weaker return, and that's when you see the server come in and attack. Now, two things with this approach shot. The first is the footwork that is being used here. I want you to watch something called the front foot hop. Watch how he plants his front foot and then he hops his left foot and then he hops on his left foot. This is a footwork that everyone must master. Now, why do you want to do what is called a front foot hop? Well, think about it. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When you swing your right arm forward forcefully, your right leg kicks backward forcefully. If you've ever gone bowling, you know as you throw the bowling ball down the lane, your back leg kicks behind you. A slap shot in ice hockey, your back foot kicks behind you. It's just physics. Well, he's moving forward and his body weight is moving into the shot. So when he steps onto that front foot and he's leaning in, as he hits, watch his right leg kick backward. His right leg kicks backward so it can't step. But he's leaning in, So if he doesn't hop with this front foot, he's going to fall flat on his face because the right foot can't get up in time. So he hops on that foot, then the right foot hits the ground. Learning to hop on your front foot just gives the back foot a little bit of time to have physics do its magic as you're swinging your racket forward. And this way you keep your balance and you're going forward, and then he keeps going to the net. The second thing I want to show you with this approach shot is look how low he hits the ball. Let me ask you something. What percentage of the time do you pick an air target on your shots? Just think about it. What percentage of the time do you have an exact height you're trying to hit over the net? Well, it should be 100% of the time. No different than if I asked LeBron James, hey, LeBron, what percentage of the time when you shoot the basketball are you trying to make it go into the hoop? He would say 100%. That doesn't mean it always goes into the hoop, but you should 100% of the time have that target. Well, every time you hit a ground stroke or a volley or a serve, whatever, you want to know the exact height over the net you're trying to hit. And when you're inside the court, you want to aim low over the net. A lot of times players are inside the court, rec players, and they hit the ball too high over the net, and then the ball goes out. And that's usually when the rec player says, too much. I mean, listen, the next time you go out and play, listen to the adjacent courts or your opponent, and when they miss from inside the court and the ball goes long, they'll say, too much. I went for too much. When the answer actually to their problem is they hit the ball too high over the net. So then the ball keeps carrying, right? So you want to hit the ball low over the net so the ball stays in. So here, the opponent is now presented, the returner, with the same situation the server was in on the previous point, well behind the baseline with an attacking net player. So should he try to rip a ball down the line? Should he try to hit a perfect topspin lob over the head? Should he try to rip a cross-court pass? No, he should try to hit the ball low because look where the approacher is, behind the service line. There's plenty of plenty of room to get the ball low to the approacher's feet, forcing him to volley up if this guy can get the ball low enough over the net. But he doesn't. He hits the ball too high over the net. You can see how much higher that ball is versus this player's shot when he hit it low to the opponent on the previous point, going for the two-shot passing shot strategy. And then this allows the volleyer to go for the winner on the opposite side of the court. Now, we do have to talk about the split step and footwork of the server. Watch his split step happen after the returner hits this forehand. But this is an incredibly important detail that I want to end this with. And it is the proper timing of the footwork versus the contact on a volley. Here's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you step with the front foot, and you can see he's stepping with the front foot here. He's hitting a forehand volley, so he's stepping with the left foot, hitting on the right side of his body, but he's making sure that that step occurs after contact. This is a must follow footwork and technique timing that you must have if you want to hit your best volleys. Watch how he hits the ball, then steps with that foot. This is not random. This is how you hit your best volleys. You do not want to plant your front foot before you hit the ball. You want to hit, then step. This keeps your body weight going forward into the shot because the volley has a momentum power source. So you want to keep moving forward into the shot. Now, how did he do this? He did it by stepping with the foot first on the side where he's hitting. So check this out. He split stepped, and now here comes the ball to his forehand. The first step he takes is with the foot on the side where he's hitting. He's hitting on his right side, so he's going to step with his right foot. Watch the right foot step. This is not random. He could have had either foot hit the ground. Do the first step, but this is completely on purpose. He steps with that foot, so the right foot, so that he can then hit and then step with the left. You've got to go out and practice this. I've made so many YouTube videos on this. In fact, I made a YouTube video on this within the last maybe week. You know what I'm going to do at the end of this video? I'm going to share on the screen a video of this exact topic, and I want you to watch it making sure that after you split step at the net, that the first step you take is with the foot on the side where you are hitting. Then you're going to hit the ball. Then you'll step with that front foot. This is how you move through the volley, and this is how you win. So again, if you want me to analyze your serve, your forehand, your backhand, your match play, your footwork, send me an email, ryan@2minutetennis.net. Go out and film yourself playing. Review the footage. If you do, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.